I have been informed that the Jackie Robinson statue in Wichita, Kansas was cut off at the ankles, vandalized, and found burning inside of the trash can. Let me repeat this. Wichita, Kansas. I want to send love, greetings, and blessings of support to our brothers and sisters in Wichita, Kansas. We understand that the Jackie Robinson statue was removed, vandalized, and burned. The police allege they have no suspects. That's what the police allege. I'm sure if a black person took a statue of a white person, vandalized it and burned it, I think they would have a couple suspects already. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. But here's what I want to say to the African family here in America. Here's what I want to say to the North American African. If you thought that our incursion into athletics in Hollywood has made a difference in the way white folks perceive you, you need to think again. I said, if you think that the Negro incursion into sports and entertainment has changed white people's opinion of the North American African, you have lost your damn mind. That vandalism of the Jackie Robinson statue in Wichita, Kansas, that wasn't about Jackie Robinson. That was about you. That was about LeBron James. That's about Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, they might cheer for you on the field. They might cheer for you on the court. They might cheer for you at the Olympics the same way a slave master cheers for his slave in the boxing match. The same way a slave master cheers for his slave in the chicken match and the praying mantis wrestling match. Yeah, they cheer for you, but not because they love you. Yeah, they cheer for you, not because they respect you. Yeah, they cheer for you because you are their property. They are not cheering for you. They are cheering for their own best interests. Let me say this again. Because your post-traumatic slavery disease has led you to draw some very erroneous conclusions about European behavior. Your post-traumatic slavery disease has led to you drawing some very erroneous conclusions about European behavior. When the Caucasian cheers for you, they're not cheering for you. They're cheering for a victory for their team. They're cheering for a victory for their city. They're cheering for a victory for their sport. You just happen to be the tool in place that they hope will deliver the victory. We just had 3 Africans die in a bombing in Jordan. We just had 2 beautiful young African sisters and a young brother in the United States military. All 3 of them were Africans, died in a bombing in Jordan. And we want to send our heartfelt condolences, love, and support. We want to wrap our positive energy around the families of those 3 Africans. But I'm telling black parents right now, stop sending your children to the military. Stop sending your children to the military. Stop sending your children to the military, brothers and sisters. African youth ain't got no business. African youth ain't got no business. African youth ain't got no business. Melanin drip, melanin drip, melanin drip. African youth ain't got no business in the United States Armed Forces. Those 2 sisters could have been midwives. They could have been nurses. They could have been engineers. They could have been teachers. That brother could have been a realtor. He could have been an agricultural engineer. We got to stop sending our children to the U.S. military, brothers and sisters. Lost state life. You think Joe Biden cares about the lives of those 3 Africans? You think the chairman of the U.S. Joint Chief of Staff cares about those Africans? And what is the military going to do? They're going to drop off that old stinking dirty rag. They're going to drop off what Bishop Henry McNeil Turner of Atlanta, Georgia called a stinking dirty rag. They're going to give them an American flag. They're going to give them an American flag, an eternal reminder, eternal symbol of the white supremacy that took the life of their 3 children over in Jordan. We better wake up before it's too late. We better wake up before it's too late. We better wake up before it's too late. Our heartfelt condolences to those 3 Africans who lost their life in Jordan. Our heartfelt condolences to all Africans who've lost their life around the world, across the diaspora, on this second day of the 98th anniversary of Negro History Week. I said on the second day of the 98th anniversary of Black History Month. I said on the second day of the 98th anniversary of Negro History Week, brothers and sisters. They vandalized that Jackie Robinson statue to let you Negroes know we don't approve of none of you. We don't approve of none of you. And if we can get rid of every last one of you, from the actor to the comedian to the singer, the dancer, the rapper, the buffoon, the sellout, the Negro peon, or the revolutionary, we will get rid of all of you. When are American Africans going to wake up and smell the coffee? When are North American Africans, South American Africans, Central American Africans going to wake up and smell the coffee? If you live in Wichita, Kansas, if you live in Wichita, Kansas, if you live in Wichita, Kansas, there go the sun coming out. Uh-oh. There go the sun coming out. I must salute my Father, who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy African will be done. Thy African kingdom will come. Brothers and sisters, it's organize or die. It's organize or die. Never mind Neanderthal Nation in the chat. They can't help it. They have a calcified pineal gland. Stop paying so much attention to the spiritually inferior. Never mind the Neanderthal Nation in the chat. They have calcified pineal glands. Stop paying so much attention to the spiritually inferior. I said, never mind Neanderthal Nation in the chat. They have calcified pineal glands. Pay no attention to the spiritually inferior. But brothers and sisters, I just wanted to go live one time. I just wanted to go live one time to let you Africans know, the more things change, the more they stay the same. The more things change, the more they stay the same, brothers and sisters. The more things change, the more they stay the same. See, we keep on waiting for the government to change things for African people. We have supreme faith in the government. The North American African has supreme confidence in the European's ability to self-correct his own mistakes. And if you believe that the European has the ability, the American white power structure, if you believe it has the ability to self-correct its own mistakes, can you give me some examples of where that has ever happened? Can you give me some examples of where that has ever happened? Show me where. Show Ifatunde Oguntade where the European power structure has ever self-corrected its own mistakes. See, what we're dealing with here is the failure of melanin-dominated people. The failure of melanin-dominant people. That's you, the African, the original man and woman. We are melanin-dominant. We are melanin-dominant. The melanin-dominant people of North America still haven't figured out the behavior and psychology of melanin deficiency. Because from a psychobiological perspective, we're dealing with a conflict of reality, narrative, consciousness, and culture between melanin dominant and melanin deficient. Let's take it to the biological, because y'all like keeping it at the religious. Y'all like keeping it at the social. Let's go to the psychobiological. We are in conflict because we are melanin dominant and they are melanin deficient. We produce organic melanin. They produce artificial melanin. The more melanin you have, the more humane you are. The less melanin you have, the less humane you are. That's why when you look at the human hierarchy from original man to artificial man, you see the humanity reduces itself every step of the way down the human hierarchy from melanin dominant to melanin deficient. And what I don't understand, why would melanin dominant people want to reproduce with melanin deficient people? Somebody help me understand. I need somebody to help me understand, overstand, and understand. Why would melanin dominant people want to reproduce with melanin deficient people? I'm going to tell you why. Somebody did something to your mind. Somebody did something to your consciousness. Somebody did something to your worldview. Somebody traumatized your spirituality. Because no melanin dominant person in their right mind, no melanin dominant person in their right mind would reproduce with a melanin deficient person. But the problem with the North American Negro, the problem of a North American Negro from Toronto to Texas, the problem with the North American Negro from Toronto, Canada to Texas, is religion has been introduced into the narrative of political interpretation for African people. And since religion has been introduced into the narrative of the political interpretation of African people, our common sense has been hampered. Our common sense has been hindered. Our common sense has been hurt because we've been led to believe that if our behavior is not consistent with the Gospels of Christ, as written by the Caucasians, we have been brainwashed into believing that if our behavior isn't consistent with the gospel of Christ as written by the Caucasian, then we are somehow ungodly. And we have been so brainwashed with this Christian Islamic concept of ungodliness that we would rather see every African on earth exterminated before we disobey the laws of the New Testament. So the Bible as a book printed by Caucasians is more important to African people than the survival of melanin dominant people. We could care less if there was an extermination of melanin dominant people as long as the Bible is being upheld. A book has become more important than black people. I said a book has become more important than black people. And you keep running around telling me how much you've been saved. No disrespect. But how you going to be asking me if I'm saved? Because my next question after you ask me, have you been saved? My next question, saved from what? What exactly have you been saved from? You got Negroes running around with a modified Kemetic Ankh called the Christ, the cross, the crucifix, fabricated Ankh, plagiarized Ankh, bootleg Kemetic Ankh, saying you've been saved. And I'm trying to find out for the life of me, and I love all of you, but for the life of Ifatunde, for the life of Dr. Oguntade, can somebody explain to me what exactly have you been saved from? Because you keep telling me you've been saved. Have you been saved from police brutality? Have you been saved from the COVID vaccination? Have you been saved from mass incarceration? Have our children been saved from miseducation? Have we been saved from homelessness? Have we been saved from cancer? Have we been saved from political exploitation? Have we been saved from economic apartheid? Have we been saved of unemployment? Have we been saved of black on black crime? What exactly have you been saved from when you tell me you have been saved? Help me understand, overstand, and understand on this second day of the 98th anniversary of Negro History Week, started by the great Dr. Carter G. Woodson. The second week of February was chosen not by Caucasians, but by Dr. Carter G. Woodson because it included the birthday of Abraham Lincoln and my 4 times great-grandcousin, the most honorable Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey Douglas. Black History Week, Negro History Week, became Black History Month in 1976 when President Gerald Ford, on the 50th anniversary of Negro History Week, 1976, decided to upgrade Negro History Week to Black History Month. That came from President Gerald Ford, 1976. In 2 years, we will be celebrating the centennial of Negro History Week. 1926 to 2026. In 2 years, 1926 to 2026, we will be celebrating the centennial of Negro History Week. 100 years of Black history, from Garvey to Ifa Tunde. The most honorable Marcus Garvey was in prison when Dr. Carter G. Woodson started Negro History Week. No doubt he was influenced by Marcus Messiah Garvey. But with 2 years to go, why are we still crying about Governor Ron DeSantis removing Black history from the textbooks, removing racism from the textbooks, removing slavery from the textbooks? 2 years away from the centennial of Black History Month, and y'all crying because white people don't want to teach Black children who they are and where they come from. It's not their job. It's not their job. It's not their job. It is not the job of the Caucasian to teach African children where they come from. Would you please cut it out? Would you please cut it out? Would you please cut it out? It is not the job of the oppressor to educate the oppressed. We are 2 years away from the centennial of Black History Month, 1926 to 2026, and we still crying about white people not teaching Black children where they come from. Will you please wake up? We can teach Black history in church. We can teach Black history at home. We can teach Black history in the community center. Stop crying about Ron DeSantis when you are $2 billion people. That's the post-traumatic slavery disease. A $2 trillion people are crying because white folks don't want to teach Black children who they are. I want you to think about that for a minute. Think about that psychosis. Think about that mental illness. A $2 trillion people, the American African family, a $2 trillion people is crying because white folks don't want to teach Black kids where they come from. The disease of irresponsibility. The disease of irresponsibility. The disease of irresponsibility. The disease of irresponsibility. We suffer from the disease of irresponsibility. We want no responsibility for our own survival. We want no responsibility for our own redemption. We want no responsibility for our own longevity. What did the Honorable Frederick Douglass say about you Negroes 100 years ago? What did the Honorable Frederick Douglass say about you kind of Negroes 150 years ago? Frederick Douglass said, quote, "A people who will not fight for themselves are not worth being fought for by others." I'm going to say it again. This is what Frederick Douglass said about you handkerchief head plantation Democratic Party coons. Frederick Douglass said, a people who will not fight for themselves when they have the means to do so are not worth being fought for by others. Frederick Douglass said, a man who does not value his own freedom will not value your freedom. Frederick Douglass said, it is senseless to put a man on his feet if the next minute his head will be back on the concrete. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. Douglass said, find out what any people will quietly submit to, and you have found the exact measure of injustice that will be used against them. Melanin drip. Melanin drip. Melanin drip. Son of the sun. Leo season every day. Brothers and sisters, we must get serious. Brothers and sisters, we must get serious. Brothers and sisters, well, first of all, black people are the only people on the planet Earth who says they don't need leadership. You will never hear European Jews say they don't need leadership. You will never hear Asians or Arabs, East Indians say they never lead. You're the only people who don't believe in leadership. Do you want to know why? Why are Negroes always talking about how they don't need leadership? You know why? Because you don't respect black authority. That's your problem. You don't respect black authority. And because you have no patience to be told what to do from other black people, you simply come to the conclusion that leadership is irrelevant. You love disorganization. We thrive off of disorganization. That's why you hear Negroes say we don't need leadership, because we thrive off of disorganization. We love chaos and dysfunction. The Negro community is a cesspool of chaos and disorganization. Whenever you hear Negroes say we don't need leadership, you're dealing with a Negro who thrives off of chaos and disorganization. But guess what? Dr. Carter G. Woodson in Miseducation of the Negro. Dr. Carter G. Woodson in Miseducation of the Negro. Dr. Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black History Month, Miseducation of the Negro, he said, what we need more than leaders are organizers and servicemen and women. We need organizers and servicemen and women. We need organizer. Dr. Ifatunde Oguntade is not a leader. I am an organizer. Organize the people. To eliminate the chaos, the dysfunction, and the disruption, we need to organize. Y'all don't want to do that. You don't want to organize. And Joe Biden knows you don't want to organize. Your governor knows you don't want to organize. Congressional Black Caucus knows you don't want to organize. The black bourgeoisie know you don't want to organize. Chinese are in pursuit of power. Arabs are in pursuit of power. East Indians are in pursuit of power. Latinos are in pursuit of power. Anglo-Saxons are in pursuit of power. Black American, North American Negroes are in pursuit of pleasure and comfort. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand what the Prince of Pan-Africanism is saying right now. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand what Ifatunde 3 times is saying right now. I want you to understand, overstand, and understand what King Kong consciousness is saying. The Asian is in pursuit of power. The Anglo-Saxon is in pursuit of power. The Arab is in pursuit of power. The East Indian is in pursuit of power. The Latino is in pursuit of power. The European Jew is in pursuit of power. The North American African is in pursuit of pleasure and comfort. Have you seen these rappers? Have you seen these actors? Have you seen these A-list celebrities? Have you seen these millionaires and billionaires? Do you see them using their wealth to build power for their people? Do you see the millionaires and billionaires of Black North America, from Toronto, Canada to South Texas? Do you see them using their wealth to build power? You don't even use your wealth to build power. You just got your tax returns. You just got your tax returns. You just got your tax return. Did you use your tax return to build power? No, you didn't. You use your tax return to engage in pleasure and comfort. 95% of Black activity is pleasure and comfort. It's either conflict or comfort. That's 95% of the Black experience. Conflict with other Blacks because you worship Caucasians. Conflict with other Blacks because you worship Caucasians. Conflict with other Blacks or comfort. That's it. Go to any Black person. How did you spend last year, 2023, your time outside of work, your free time? How did you spend your free time in 2023? conflict with other Negroes, or pursuit of comfort. That's it. We already talked about the solution, organization and institutions. Stop asking the same damn question. The reason y'all keep on asking the same damn question, what's the solution, is because you are in denial of the solution. I've been telling you the solution for 25 years, and you keep on asking the same silly ass question. What's the solution? Organization and institutions. You know what the damn solution is. But you don't want to do no work. You are a social media addict. That's what you are. A social media addict. If it's not on YouTube, you don't want to get involved. If you got to put your computer down, you don't want to get involved. If you have to get off the cell phone, you don't want to get involved. Brother Malcolm spoke of second-class citizenship. Brother Malcolm spoke of second-class citizenship. Forget that. You're not a citizen at all. You are a denizen of America. Go look up the word denizen. Not citizen. You are a denizen of America. Somebody who lives there with no rights thereof. Someone who lives there, no rights thereof. Someone who lives there, no rights thereof. Slavery ended in 1865. You don't get the 14th Amendment until 1867, 1868. Slavery ended in 1865. You don't get the 14th Amendment until 1867, 1868. What was your status in America between 1865 and the 14th Amendment? Free, but you were not a citizen. That's exactly where you are right now. That's exactly where you are right now. You are back in the same condition you were in post-slavery, pre-14th Amendment. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. You are back in the same predicament you were in post-slavery, pre-14th Amendment. No longer in chains, but no rights as an American citizen. That's exactly where you are. We done went back 160 years. In 12 years, we went back 160 years. In 60, from Barack Obama's first term to the end of Joe Biden's first term, 16 years. From Barack Obama's first term to the end of Joe Biden's first term, 16 years. We done went back 170 years in 16 years. You are exactly where you were post-slavery, pre-14th Amendment. Organize or die. Institutionalize or die. But you so damn sleep. Hypnotize with second-class citizenship. Hypnotize with oppression. No, Caucasians have been consistent. You have changed. You have changed your self-respect. You have changed your love for your community. You have fallen out of love with black power, and you have fallen in love with the white dollar. I said you have fallen out of love with black power, and you have fallen in love with the white dollar. I said you have fallen out of love with black power. You have fallen in love with the white dollar. I said you have fallen out of love with black power. You have fallen in love with the white dollar. If I'm lying, I'm crying. If I'm lying, I'm crying. If I'm lying, I'm crying, brothers and sisters. And you say, Dr. Umar, why you go so hard on our people? Dr. Umar, our people got it hard enough. Why you go so hard? I got to go hard. Because who else is going hard? Who else is going hard? Who else in the conscious community is telling our men to stop dating outside the race? Nobody. Nobody. Not even in the conscious community are they telling our men not to go outside the race. I'm the only one doing it. The only one building an institute. The only one fighting on the front line for the children. I got to go hard. Ain't no time for nothing else. If the house is on fire, You got to smack the shit out of people to wake them up so they don't get burned. You don't tap them on the shoulder if the house is burning down. God forbid. If the house is burning down, you don't tap them on the shoulder. You don't blow in their ear. You smack their ass up. Get about this house because it's burning down. In the words of the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. King said, the time is always right to do right. What we waiting for? Dr. King said the time is always ripe to do right. Y'all keep waiting for the perfect moment to organize. Y'all keep waiting for the perfect moment to build a school. Y'all keep waiting for the perfect moment to fight back against racism. Y'all keep waiting for the perfect moment to boycott non-African businesses. Y'all keep waiting for the perfect moment to teach our own children. Y'all keep waiting for the perfect moment to provide for our women and children and elders. Y'all keep waiting for the perfect moment to take back the black community. There are no perfect moments. Every moment is the perfect moment because Dr. King said the time is always ripe to do right. What are you waiting for? Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice delayed is justice denied. My Chicago Africans, I'm a little disappointed in some of you. My Chicago Africans, my New York City Africans, I love you both. You cities gave birth to the Prince of Pan-Africanism. It was Chicago and New York who put me out front of the movement. Chicago and New York, but I'm disappointed because you are too docile. Chicago and New York are too docile in the face of extermination through migrant immigration. You are too docile. I thought black Chicago would have occupied City Hall by now. I thought black Chicago would have occupied the state capitol by now. I thought black New York City would have occupied City Hall by now. I thought black New York City would have occupied the state capitol in Albany by now. Your response is too docile. The response from Chicago and New York, we got activists out there, but I'm talking about the people because there is no movement without the people. The masses make differences, not individuals. The masses make the difference, not the individuals. The masses make the difference, not the individuals. Why don't we see New York City and Chicago fighting back en masse? En masse. Y'all should be at LaGuardia Airport laying on the strip. Ain't no airplanes landing until y'all stop this migrant takeover, this black purge. That's all it is. It's a black purge with brown people. It's a black purge with brown people. It's a black purge with brown people. Chicago, New York, you gotta get ready. Chicago, the Democratic Convention is in your city. Chicago, the Democratic National Convention is in your city. The time is now, Chicago. The time is now. The Democratic Convention is in Chicago. Y'all better show up and show out. Y'all better show up and we all better go to Chicago, New York included, and show up and show out. If Black America is going to make a stand, it needs to be in Chicago this Black August. This Black August, the Democratic National Convention is in Chicago. It's time to show up and show out. Every gang, every gangster, every corner boy, every African, every American African, immigrant African, we better show up and show out at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, Black August. But are we more concerned with drill music? Are we more concerned with social media? Are we more concerned with chasing penis and vagina? Black men, you're spending too much time chasing vagina instead of chasing victory for the people. Too much of the black man's time is spent chasing vagina. Brothers, it is consciousness over the cookies. Brothers, it is politics over the punani. Brothers, it is revolution over romance. Brothers, it is institutions over intimacy. Brothers, it is business before the bedroom. Too much of your time is chasing vagina. We need victory. We don't have time for vagina chasing. Black women, shut down the cookie jars and stop giving out your essence to these men who ain't producing. Black woman, shut down your cookie chamber and stop giving out your cookies to these men who ain't producing for the community. Black women, part of this is your fault because you giving out coochie and we not building no institutions. Black women, part of this is your fault because you giving out coochie and we ain't building no institutions. I said, black women, part of this is your fault because you giving out coochie to men who ain't doing nothing for the community. Oh, yes. Frederick Douglass said, we don't need the rain, we need the thunder. Not the ocean, but the roar of the waters. He said we need the tornado and the earthquake. We need the cyclone and the blizzard. Frederick Douglass said, we must make the black issue the most important talking point in America. Until we make the black issue the most important talking point in America, we get nowhere. The original technology of the cell phone was invented by an African. The original technology of the airplane was invented by an African. The original technology of the internet was invented by an African. The original technology of the helicopter was invented by an African. I beg your pardon, my brother, you need to do some research. It's Black History Month. Your ass need to be reading. And speaking of Black History Month, how many of you are going to make your children read a book every day about their history for Black History Month? Can we at least do that, black mothers and fathers? Can we at least make sure our children read every day for an hour for these 29 days of Black History Month because it's a leap year? Can we please do that? Can we please make sure every black child in America reads for an hour a day for the 29 days of this Black History Month? Can we please do that? Can we please make them put down the phone? I didn't say watch a YouTube video. I'm not against that, but I want them to read. Why do you want them to read, Mr. School Psychologist, Mr. Certified School Psychologist? The reason why this certified school psychologist wants your child to read is because half the black boys in America in the 4th grade can't read on their grade level. Half the black boys in America in the 4th grade can't read on their grade level. Half the black boys in America in the 4th grade can't read on their grade level. Half the black boys in America on the 4th grade can't read on grade level. So they need to be reading. I don't know why they got video games. I don't know why they got cell phones. I don't know why they got tablets. I don't know why they got Jordans. I don't know why they got HD TVs. And they can't even read. We are literally breeding blacks for the prison. The black community is a slave breeding farm. I'm going to say it again. I don't care if you mad. The black community is a slave breeding farm. Black woman, don't you turn your vagina. Black woman, don't you turn your vagina into a slave breeding factory. Oh no. Black woman, don't you turn your vagina into a slave breeding factory. Tomorrow, Savannah, Georgia, 2nd annual Gullah Geechee Grand African Ball. Savannah, Georgia, 6 p.m. tomorrow. Happy hour is at 4 p.m. You must wear your African clothing. Sunday, Black Wall Street Market, Stonecrest, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. Right outside of Atlanta. Sunday, right outside of Atlanta. Black Wall Street Market, Stonecrest, Georgia. Come and do all your shopping with black businesses. I want us to occupy the Black Wall Street Market on Sunday in Stonecrest, Georgia from 11 to 6. Bring the children, bring the elders, bring everybody. The event is free, no excuses. King Kong Consciousness will speak at 3 p.m. Massive black vendor market. Sunday afternoon will be a massive black business market. Join me in Stonecrest, Georgia on Sunday. Join me in Savannah, Georgia tomorrow night for the 2nd annual Gullah Geechee Grand African Ball. We're going to do culture tomorrow and we're going to do economics on Sunday. I said we're going to do culture in Savannah, Georgia tomorrow, Saturday, and we're going to do economics on Sunday at the Black Wall Street Market in Stonecrest. Oakland, California. San Francisco, California. Richmond, California, Sacramento, California, Antioch, California. I will see you for the Black Parent Boot Camp on Saturday, October the 17th. Black Parent Boot Camp for the San Francisco Bay African parent family will be at the Church of All Faiths, 2100 Fifth Avenue in Oakland, California. Saturday, February 17th. You must register in advance. Deadline is Thursday, February 15th. Go to drumarjohnson.com and register. Go to drumarjohnson.com and register. Go to drumarjohnson.com and register. Las Vegas, Los Angeles, San Diego, Inland Empire. You better come to Oakland and get this training because I'm only doing it one time. One and done, pull-up season. Hit your Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit your Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit your Cash App, $FDMG School. Hit your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Hit your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Morehouse College, I'm going to see you in March. Florida A&M University, I'm going to see you in March. Kalamazoo, Michigan, I'm going to see you on February the 20th in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Toronto, Canada, I'm going to see you in June. First visit in 10 years, Toronto, Canada, the Prince is returning. Australia, I'm going to see you in June. Alaska, I'm going to see you in Juneteenth. Omaha, I'm going to see you in June. If you need to reach me, podcast interviews, lecture scheduling, consultations, and life coaching. If you need to reach me, podcast interview, documentary interview, lecture scheduling, life coaching, consultations for your children, special ed, mental health, you know how to reach me. 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. 215-989-9858. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. The information for Dr. Umar's 7th annual African Group Tour. The information for Dr. Umar's 7th annual African Group Tour. The information for Dr. Umar's 7th annual African Group Tour. Last week of July, first week of August. Last week of July, first week of August. Last week of July, first week of August. Information for the group tour will be dropped on Frederick Douglass's 206th birthday. February the 14th, Frederick Douglass's 206th Earth Day. I will be putting out the information for the African Group Tour. 45 people only. 45 because I want everybody on the same tour bus so I can supervise the coons. I want everybody on the same tour bus so I can supervise the coons. 45 people. I'm one of 45. That leaves 44. I'm one of 45. That leaves 44. 22 women and 22 men. 22 real black conscious women and 22 real black conscious men only for the 7th annual Dr. Umar Tour. We going to Ghana, we going to Gambia, and we going to Senegal. I said we going to Ghana, we going to Gambia, and we going to Senegal. I said we going to Ghana, we going to Gambia, and we going to Senegal. I need one of my queens to be a chef. I need one of my queens to be the foot massager. I need one of my queens to be the back massager. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We going to Ghana. We going to Gambia. We going to Senegal. I'm just kidding, my queens. I'm just kidding, my queens. I'm just kidding, my queens. But remember this. Whatever happens in Africa stays in Africa. Whatever happens in Ghana stays in Ghana. Whatever happens in Gambia stays in Gambia. Whatever happens in Senegal will stay in Senegal. We going to the Gorée Island slave dungeon. We going to the Cape Coast Castle slave dungeon. We going to the Senegal Pan-African History Museum. I said we're going to the new Pan-African History Museum in Dakar, Senegal. We're going to eat some of that Senegalese food. You're going to get a Senegalese name. We're going to the Senegalese beach. We're going to the Kente Cloth Museum in Ghana. We're going to the Prempeh Museum in Ghana. We're going to the Wood Factory Museum in Ghana. We're going to the Bead Factory Museum in Ghana. Oh, yes. We're going to go to Jufre Island in Gambia, where Alex Haley ancestors came from that motivated him to write the movie Roots. Jufre Island in Gambia. We going on the water, brothers and sisters. We going to the shrines, brothers and sisters. We calling up the ancestors. We're going to worship the Most High in the land of the original melanin dominant people of Africa. Information will be coming February 14th. If you've been on any of my previous tours, you're not allowed to come on this one. If you've ever worked with me in any capacity, you're not allowed to come on this tour. I want all new people. It's a new day, a new year, and I want new people. I can do another trip for those of you who've been on my other trips. I can do another trip for those of you who work with me. I want to see 44 faces I've never seen in my life. I want to see 44 faces I've never seen in my life. I want to see 44 faces I've never seen in my life. Brothers and sisters, this is King Kong Consciousness, coming to you live and direct. What's the requirements? You better have a passport. You're going to have to get a visa. We'll walk you through all that. Don't worry about that. Get your passport. If you ain't got no passport, you better get on it right now. If you ain't got no passport, you better get on it right now. I can't wait to get to Ghana because I need me some new white dashikis. I'm running out of white dashikis. Gotta get to Ghana. Need me some more white dashikis. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, brothers and sisters. If you need to reach me, 215-989-9858. 2159. Senegal wants malaria and yellow fever. I think Ghana, malaria and yellow fever. You could take the malaria tablets. You could get a doctor's note so you don't have to take anything. Gambia, I think they also want yellow fever and malaria. We'll go over all of that. Don't worry about that. Get your passport and get your money right. Get your passport and get your money right. Get your passport and get your money right. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm waiting for Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso to send for me to be Minister of Education for Burkina Faso. Oh, yes. I'm waiting for President Ibrahim Traoré to send for King Kong Consciousness to come to Burkina Faso and be the Minister of Education for Burkina Faso. Oh, yes. I want to be the Minister of Education for the new empire of Mali, Burkina Faso, in Niger. I want to be the Minister of Education for Mali, Burkina Faso, in Niger. This is your brother King Kong Consciousness. Thank you, Jacksonville, Florida. I loved you. Sacramento, I loved you. Antioch, I loved you. All roads lead to Savannah and Stonecrest this weekend. All roads lead to Savannah and Stonecrest this weekend. All roads lead to Savannah tomorrow, Saturday night, and Stonecrest Sunday afternoon. This is your big brother King Kong Consciousness. Peace and Pan-Africanism.